Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through it. Sunday, let's do our study group for warriors. We'll just get right into it. I got lots of notes. The devil is not prejudiced. I mean, you might be. The devil isn't. A lot of people want to point the finger, religious people, stupid people, they want to point the finger at certain groups. Oh, they're the devil. You white devils, you black devils. Look, the devil's not prejudiced. He will make fools out of all men. Let's go to the next one. The next level is a new version of you. In order to get to the next version of you, you're going to have to become less attached to the old version of you. Some of you are very attached to an old version of you. A version of you that no longer serves your better good. Leveling up is a process of death and rebirth, like the phoenix, that bird who withers away and dies in flames in its own ashes just to be reborn out of them. And you will do this on every level. If by some reason you can't give up that other level that you were at, that lower level, if you can't give up that, you're still attached to it, grasping to elements of it, you're not ready for the newest version of you. You're not ready to level up. So you have to be ready to give up something in order to acquire something. Let's move on to the next one. You guys know about the left and right brain. Well, you can control how your brain fires. If you want to. You don't have to. You can let your brain control itself. The left brain sees the world in bits, little tiny bits. The left side of your brain reduces everything to parts. So you don't see a whole person, you see a finger, a toe, a collection of body parts. And sometimes it's very useful to look at the world in bits. If we're going to diagnose a problem, you have to separate that system into bits and look at each part of it. Say, oh, there's the part that's failing. There's the one bit that's not working along with the other bits. But the right brain sees the world as unity. The right brain sees everything on the horizon, the entire landscape, not just that one tree. So choose your side. And you choose your side daily, at every turn. Let's move to the next one. I was watching an interesting guy on YouTube. You guys probably know who he is. Maybe you check him out if you're interested. He's a ex, let me put that in quotation mark, ex-CIA agent. This guy, Andrew Bustamante. Really interesting guy. Seems really smart. Young guy, 36 or 40 or something. And he was an ex-CIA agent, so he claims. I don't have any reason to disbelieve it. He is wickedly smart and teaches a lot about manipulation. The only point I wanted to make about a guy like this, because there's several ex-CIA agents that are on YouTube with channels. I was at a protest years ago. I don't go to protests anymore. But I used to be a big-time liberal back when I was in my early 20s, and this was an anti-war protest out in California, and I forget the guy's name, doesn't matter, but an ex-CIA agent showed up to the protest and gave a talk. There were many speakers. They had a microphone set up, and he was one of them, and he revealed all kinds of crazy, like, conspiracy stuff that was going on in the world, stuff that we all know about now, but 30-something years ago it was a big deal. And I had heard from my father and other people that were that age that there are no ex-CIA agents. There's no such thing as an ex-CIA agent. That doesn't exist. You're not an ex-agent. There are no ex-agents. They're all current agents. You don't leave the CIA. You're not retired from the CIA. That's not possible. It doesn't happen. So this fuck Andrew Bustamante is a current CIA agent, and it makes me wonder, what's this motherfucker's agenda? Why is he on YouTube trying to teach people how to manipulate motherfuckers when he's a current CIA agent? What is the CIA up to? You guys might not be with me. That's fine. Let's move on to the next one. If you do not forgive, let's talk about forgiveness. I know you guys hate this. I study forgiveness a lot because it's something that I've struggled with. You got to study what you struggle with. You avoid what you struggle with, you're just going to stay stupid. You got to think about, what is it that I'm stuck on? What's one of my hardest issues right now? Dive into that. Forgiveness has been so hard for me. I can hold a grudge till the end of time. I can hate your guts forever. That doesn't get tired for me. You say, oh, you're paying rent inside my head. I got a big fucking head. I got places for all of you. I can hate every one of you. But no, I have to learn how to forgive. And if you do not forgive, you face eternal damnation. That's the way it works. It's in the Bible. You do not pass go with baggage. You do not get into heaven with attachments to this life. It kind of goes along with what we were talking about just in the last one as far as, well, not the CIA agent one, but as far as leveling up. I'm still riled up about the CIA. You have to get rid of what you're attached to in order to find your salvation. In order to find your greatness, you have to give up that weak version of you. The weak version of you holds grudges, holds on to shame and guilt. The higher version of you, the spiritual version of you, the version of you that's connected to God, forgives that and removes those elements and replaces what was there with love, healing love. So ask yourself, all you Jews out there, and this is hard, could you forgive the Palestinians for October 7th? Could you forgive the Holocaust? Could you forgive Hitler? How about black people? Let's talk to the blacks. Could you forgive slavery? You say no. If you do not forgive, you face eternal damnation. It's a rule of life. Let's move on to the next one. This is a hard one, man. I don't know if I believe this, and this is going to trigger some of you. I took this off of that chick Pearl. She has a YouTube site called Pearly Things, I believe. Redheaded chick, kind of a plain Jane, but she looks like she would be pretty cute if she were to doll herself up. And she has a channel dedicated to being a traditional woman. And for you guys looking for advice on women, it's not a bad channel. She has good advice. But she said this, and I'll say it to you, and I'm not sure if I buy this. It was a kind of a shocking statement. And she said, guys who get screwed by divorce are simps. Guys who get screwed in a divorce, you get screwed over by your ex in a divorce. Oh, that bitch, oh, she screwed me. No. You, my friend, according to Pearl, according to this woman, you are a simp. And guys who are not simps, alpha males who don't simp on chicks, they don't get screwed in divorces. I don't know the statistics on that. She seems pretty sure about it. So you have this issue of maybe you're a little bit too nice and too giving. Not only just in the breakup, but throughout the whole relationship. And she took you for a ride. Maybe you're the type of guy that really can't stand up. You don't have that Ike Turner in you. And I'm not saying to beat your woman, but you don't have that pimp hand. You ever heard, maybe you guys haven't, but they used to say in the streets, keep your pimp hand strong. I think this goes for not just divorce, but for any breakup. And when I heard this, I look back on my own life and some of the breakups that I've been devastated by. And I've been hit by a Mack truck by a breakup before and just been left like, oh my God. I got left homeless after a relationship one time. I mean, it's not a competition, right? But I'm sure some of you guys can relate. Girl really fucks you over. The relationship just destroys you. Or look back on those experiences and I realize maybe I was. I mean, you have to be humble. Maybe I was a little bit of a simp. Maybe I could have been stronger. Absolutely. And maybe if I was stronger in those moments and in that relationship in general and had more clearly defined boundaries, etc., maybe I wouldn't have been left such a shell of a man and so broken afterwards. Let's go to the next one. You want to have the proper outlook and be able, like we talked about with right brain, left brain, you want to be able to master your mind, and you have several different ways of viewing the world. You have a scarcity mentality and an abundance mentality. So it's kind of like you're looking at the horizon and you're looking at your feet, or you're looking at the parts, the bits, or you're looking at the unified whole. You have to switch between scarcity and abundance. Be able to switch between the two as needed and recognize when scarcity is necessary. That mentality of scarcity is an aspect of survival. And also recognize when the mentality of abundance is necessary. And I personally have a little bit of a hard time with the mentality of abundance. For example, I am doing really well right now financially. This year is projected to be one of the best financial years I think I've ever had in my life, by a lot. There's things I need right now. And I was talking with my brother, who's more successful than me right now. He makes a lot more money than I do. He was telling me, look, you got money. The company's doing great. Your side hustle's doing great. Go spend the money. What's wrong with you? And I'm just like, well, I don't know if I can afford it. And so I have to learn to successfully switch into a mentality of abundance and to allow myself to handle what needs to be handled. Let's move on to the next one. Always be willing to go your own way in life. Always. Always be willing to be self-sufficient and to not mind if you have to be. If you have to wander off into the woods by yourself as a warrior, which warriors do, there's no attachment. There's no pain. There's no joy. There's no emotion on it. It's stoicism. You don't hate, you don't love. You simply do what you feel is right. Now, I'm not talking always. You can love your kid and hate your enemy, whatever, do what you want. I'm talking about going your own way. Be willing to go your own way. And this takes a certain level of detachment. You follow your heart, not your dick. You follow your courage, not your fear. You stay true to yourself, or you go to hell. Do you have any time? We'll do one or two more. Money isn't freedom. I know that's basic. Maybe you were waiting for something that was really, really good. Money isn't freedom, man. A lot of people look at money as freedom. Oh, if I only had money, I could be free. There's financial freedom, so you can go and buy all the crap you want, but freedom is in your mind. Do not, is a huge warning, do not fall into the devilish, evil, satanic trap of materialism. Many of you worship materialism. What you're involved in is a program of corporate grooming. You've heard of grooming. Like pedophiles grooming little children. Corporations are grooming you to be their slave. You know, it's funny about rap music. Jordan Peterson had a really funny criticism of rap music, and he said, vomiting a list of possessions doesn't make you a fucking poet. Happy Sunday.